All right, picture this. You've got one of the most important, most critical arteries of the entire global economy. Now imagine someone just drops a toll booth right in the middle of it. But here's the kicker. This isn't your average toll booth. This one only takes crypto. And no, this isn't some sci-fi movie plot. This is what's happening right now in the Strait of Hormuz.
You heard that right. Iran just passed a new law, and it says every single commercial ship that wants to get through this vital choke point has to pay up. And they can't just use dollars. Nope, the only options are cryptocurrency or the Chinese Yuan. This is, and I'm not exaggerating, a massive, seismic shift in how the world does business. And believe me, the aftershocks, they're just getting started. So, to really grasp how big a deal this is, you only need to remember one number: 20%. That's how much of the entire world's oil supply passes through that one narrow strait. Just let that sink in. We're talking about a fifth of the energy that powers, well, everything. Our cars, our homes, our entire way of life. So yeah, when you mess with this waterway, it has huge consequences for every single one of us.
Okay, so let's really break this down. What exactly is this new Hormuz Law? What's happening on the ground?
All right, let's look at the nuts and bolts. First off, this isn't just some idea they're floating around. It's been officially approved by Iran's parliament. It's law. And the payment options? Like I said, it's either crypto or the Chinese Yuan. As for the fee, we could be talking as much as $2 million for a single ship to pass. Now, Iran's official line is that this is just a fee for safe passage. But let's be real, this is a massive and incredibly controversial move.
So all of this just begs the question, right? Why are they doing this now? And why on earth use cryptocurrency? Well, the answer isn't simple, but it is a very, very calculated strategic play.
At the very core of this whole strategy is one big idea: de-dollarization. You see, for years now, Iran has been desperate to find ways to operate outside the global financial system, which is, completely dominated by the US dollar. They want to escape the sting of international sanctions. And this move? It's not a gentle nudge. It's a direct attack on that entire system.
Yeah, this isn't just about collecting a toll. One analyst put it perfectly. They said this is a strategic weapon aimed at neutralizing the weaponization of the US dollar. And what does that really mean? Let's call it what it is. This is economic warfare.
So Iran's whole game plan here really rests on four main pillars. Number one, sanctions evasion. It's pretty obvious, right? Crypto doesn't care about borders, it's super hard to seize, which makes it the perfect tool for getting around international sanctions. 2, de-dollarization, which we just talked about. It's a direct challenge to the dollar's top dog status. 3, they're using infrastructure they already have. I mean, they've been preparing for this for a while. They even legalized using crypto for imports way back in 2022. And finally, number 4, it's just more efficient. Believe it or not, for these giant shipping companies, making digital payments is just way faster and easier.
So, okay, one country makes a strategic move in one narrow little strait. How does that ripple out? Well, this is where the story starts to hit a lot closer to home. This is where it could start to directly affect the global economy, and yeah, maybe even what's in your wallet. The fallout from this Hormuz Law is going to be felt in two main places. First, you've got the traditional global economy, the one that runs on oil. And second, you've got the world of crypto itself, which just got a major promotion, or maybe demotion, right onto the main stage of global politics.
Okay, on the economic side, you can pretty much expect three big things to happen. First, get ready for oil prices to go on a roller coaster. Any little hiccup in Hormuz sends massive shockwaves through the energy markets. Second, there's something called a geopolitical risk premium. Basically, the price of oil now has this extra fee baked right in just to account for this new layer of risk. And third, good old supply chain inflation. Because when it costs more to ship oil, it ends up costing more for, well, pretty much everything you buy.
And you can literally see that risk premium in action. Before this whole law came into effect, the premium was down here, and now is shot way up. This isn't something that might happen in the future. It's an immediate, real-world cost that's been tacked on to the global energy supply, starting today.
All right, now let's talk about crypto, because this is a huge turning point. For a lot of people in the space, this is validation. It proves Bitcoin's case as digital gold, a neutral asset that nobody controls. But, and this is a big but, it also basically guarantees that Western governments are going to come down on crypto with a ton of new regulations. And here's the real head-scratcher, the paradox of it all. To get away from the US dollar, Iran is actually using stablecoins, which are, you guessed it, pegged directly to the US dollar. It's a fascinating, kind of weird contradiction, isn't it?
Okay, let's just zoom out for a second here and look at the bigger picture. Because what's happening is so much more than just a new toll on an old shipping route.
When you get right down to it, what this Hormuz Law really does is expose the two faces of cryptocurrency. On one side, you have this revolutionary tech that could bring financial services to billions and create a totally open system. But on the other side, you see it being used as a powerful weapon for countries to dodge sanctions and poke holes in the established global order.
And all of this leaves us with one really provocative final thought. For decades, global power struggles have been fought with armies, with treaties, and with traditional money. But now, a totally new player has stepped onto the field: decentralized digital currency. And the question we really have to ask ourselves is, are we witnessing the first shots being fired in a completely new kind of economic war?